Hi, I'm Emma. I wanted to just talk to you a little bit about what this channel is about. It's started all back in 2019 with an encounter I had with the Lord. I call it an encounter, but it was pretty normal for me at that point to hear things from Him in prayer. And so at this point, I had been for 3 years, and I won't go into this yet, but for the last 3 years before this, I had been hearing from God. I have been having experiences with Him that have been revealing different things to me than I had been learning in church. And so here I am, fast forward to 2019. Not everything is coming together. They're just little seeds that have been planted up to this point. And just this growing suspicion in me that God wasn't who I was taught, and God wasn't who I thought He was all this time, based on what I heard from pastors and teachers and others, basically, man. And so here I am one night praying, and I hear myself praying something, and I can only describe it looking back as it was the Spirit was praying with me. And I heard myself say, you know, God, I'm so sorry for not letting you represent yourself to me, for not letting you be who you are to me, for listening to other people, to pastors and whoever, teach me about you when I can just ask you who you are. And so after I prayed this, I felt like something changed in me that night. It was in the evening, and I went to bed feeling that there was something different and not really understanding what it was. I went to bed, and the next morning already, from that time on, I started hearing God's voice much more clearly. I had always lived with this feeling of loneliness, and I'll talk about this more on my channel, of what God's revealed to me about that. But I had this deep loneliness all my life, and I know that sometimes that can come from experiences and stuff, but I had prayed many times for God to take this away from me, and here this night when I prayed that, a lot of that left. And so it made me really curious to know what happened to me and what was changing. And so from that day on, I just decided I'm going to let God speak for Himself. And so I would read my Bible, and I would ask Him what things mean, and I would say, I want to know what this means. And you know, I started getting answers, and I started hearing things that were far different from what I learned in Christian church. And this was now a God and a Jesus that I felt like I never met before this. I mean, looking back, I know that I did hear Him at times, but I mean, it was through this filter of what people taught me. And so now for the last 6 years, I would say even more, going back to 2016, I have been hearing from Him regularly, letting Him teach me who He is, letting Him teach me what He meant by things in the Bible. And my goal for this channel is to share these things with you in hopes that you can see who He really is. The desire that He has recently, that He has shared with me, is that He wants His kids back. And to do that, He's going to have to convince you of who He is. He wants to rewrite the record for you. The record that tells you who God is, who He is, the record of man that's told you who he is, and the record of your own opinions that have determined for you who he is based on your experiences and your judgments. And he wants to write that He wants to write that. And I really feel like you're going to love it. There is nothing in that he has to say to you in judgment as man understands it. The judgment of God is not like man's judgment. And so when we read the Bible and when we hear preachers interpret the Bible this way, that, God has been here as a judge for you, basically, judging whether you're good or bad, judging all this stuff about you, is just not true. And so I'm hoping to get this across in my messages here. I'm going to tell you what he tells me, basically. He also wants you to know that you are all his kids. We are all his kids. So I'm going to be talking to you like a friend, like a sister to you, because that's how I've come to realize that is the way it is. We are a family, and we are all made by God. We are all included in everything he's done. And so this is a little summary of what I'll be talking about here. It's not something that I wish to get into debates about. I feel that I'm just going to tell it to you straight the way I hear it. And if you want to take it up, you can take it up with the Lord. You can go and ask him anything that you want. And actually, I want it to be less and less of me telling you what he's saying to you, and for you to start hearing it for yourself, for you to start receiving those same things. And so for all of you here, I feel like if you've come here with the love of the truth, which was something that brought me to this point of hearing who God really was, you have to have a love of the truth. You have to want the truth more than you want your opinion, more than you want your own judgment. You want to know what God says and how he sees things more than the way you see it. You want his view on it. And if you're in that position, you're in the right place. Even if you're not in that position yet, maybe it'll help you get into that spot. But if you have that desire to know the truth above all that you've learned, and that you're willing to toss that away for the truth, then we're going to get along. Let's just say that. And also, as for the whole debating, I don't want to debate these things. These things come, and I don't debate God about them. I just wait for the understanding. Sometimes understanding takes a while. Sometimes you won't understand something the moment you get it. But as you wait for it, the understanding will come. He will bring it. I would ask you to just wait. Wait with that thing that he told you. Wait with the truth. And don't write it off because you don't know other things. Say he tells you something, and often this is going to happen to you at the beginning, when you're waking up, is what I call it, because at this time I really was waking up. I was waking up to who God really was and who I really was and am. And so as you're waking up, you may get some times when God will speak to you something. He might speak to you through me. He might speak to you through someone that is actually hearing from him. But you'll hear him, and it might seem like it shakes everything at first. It shakes everything and all of a sudden everything feels, and this is how it felt for me, everything feels up in the air, like you just tossed everything you believed right up in the air, and here it is, and everything doesn't seem stable, and everything doesn't seem like I know what I should know by this point. But it's okay. Just stay there and let it be, and take that truth and just be, and don't let it, and because that one truth and the truths that you get over and over, especially at the beginning, is just going to create more and more questions for you. It's just going to be like, you're going to hear it, and then you're going to say, but what about this? Oh, but God, what about this? Oh, then what about this? Well, then where does this put me with this? And what does it mean for this? And you're just going to have those, and you're just going to have to let them go through your, and be okay with not knowing the answers to that right away. Just be okay with it. Just rest knowing that you're going to have the answers. But sometimes we're so deeply entrenched in these lies that we need little bits at a time, and He'll get you there. Trust me, it was like that for me at the beginning, but now I can say that in this last 6 years, I have now learned the truth, learned a lot of truth. I'm not claiming to know everything, because I'm still learning. But that's no reason for me not to share it, right? So just like it's no reason for you not to take what He says and believe it, even if you don't understand other things. And so that's where I'd like you to be, and that's where it's a good place to be, even though it feels unstable at first. When you're destroying things, when you're destroying lies, and all these things start falling down, things feel shaky and they feel unstable. But know that He's rebuilding. He's rebuilding you, and He's rebuilding you in the truth. And so that's a little bit a longer video than I thought it would be, but that's the purpose of this channel. And so I pray that everything you hear here blesses you, and that it helps launch you into an amazing relationship with the true God.